trying to remember the theme song to X-Men, but anyway, this is absolutely.
Yeah, there's no words.
There you go.
All right. Today we're going to be talking about the X-Men coming to the MCU and who we think the starter team should be. Right now, writer strike is over, but the actor strike is still going on. So everyone is now the biggest news right now is all your favorite properties might start again soon.
As long as they can get the actors.
So we're gonna come up with who we think the X-Men team should be. Now I'm only gonna put one rule because I know the easy answer for me and Sal. We're not doing the 90s X-Men team off the animated series.
I mean,
We can use some of them.
that would be the way to
Most
go.
notably more.
Yeah,
but
just do that team. You're right.
Yeah.
But the MCU won't do that. So
Nope. They'll do something dumb.
So today's episode is brought to you by Shortbox. To make sure you click the link down below to enter into a contest to win yourself a $100 gift card to get your own graded comic book to add to your collection. Shortbox is a great app which allows you to get graded comic books easily in your collection. Do you collect things? Do you like apps for it? Get Shortboxed. All right, let's get into today's episode. Dan, before you get sidelined, all right, Dan,
Right.
you go first. Let's do a round robin. We each add one guy to the team. What do you think?
What? All right.
No, and then we just keep going, you know?
Yeah.
And then we can also discuss what your overall dream team would be, but let's start here.
Okay,
Right.
so a person to put on it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the one that probably everyone's thinking. I'm gonna go with Jean Grey.
I was not thinking that.
I know which one you were thinking. I led you towards the other one. And I
Okay.
switched it
All
out.
right. I have
But
an
Jean
oddball
Grey,
one.
because we need a powerful female individual that can be on the team that later can be moved to the background to kind of be a leadership role in like the X-Men as a whole, besides just a single team.
Okay. First draft, Sal, who would you add to the team?
I mean, I think that we have to have Storm on this team. Storm is a powerful character, a really fun character. I think that establishing her right off the bat is a great way to get franchise potential out of her. Storm could be, you could do something with Storm and the Black Panther franchise, despite the fact that T'Challa is now gone. But you could do more with her, and it also gives a lot of exposure for one of people's most beloved members of the X-Men. I think that every member of the X-Men is someone's most beloved character, but like Storm is one of those characters where also, if we put Storm and Jean Grey on this team immediately, we have now completely dwarfed the Avengers first roster for female members of the team
It's true.
by 100%.
Okay. Can I go? I'm going to ask permission from the jury here, which is you guys. Can I do a stunt casting?
All right. This is whatever you think, right? Go for it.
Yeah.
This is going to be weird, but I think it can make for some great plots. Put Dr. Doom on the team.
Dr. Doom is not a mutant. That is
Right,
not
that's
stunt
right.
casting.
No,
I'm going like
that
a
makes no
Canadian
sense,
Avenger.
Benny.
That didn't mean
Makes no
anything.
sense.
Dr. Doom.
Fine. Okay, we'll go
You
mutant.
can fight Dr. Doom in this movie. That'd be
Yeah,
fine.
there you go.
Okay, all right, fine. You made. I was gonna put Kitty Pryde in there. but
There you
then
go.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
so I'll have Kitty Pryde. I like the chat
put a
here.
Kitty Pryde?
Who let Betty cook? Okay. Anyway, Kitty Pryde. So I like how our team is just the three like biggest females of the
Yeah.
X-Men universe to start with.
Yeah, that's a brilliant idea. It would do that thing that Marvel's trying to do, where they're like, we're doing a Moon Knight show, but here's this new awesome female character. Like, oh, we're doing this new show starring an awesome new female character. Like, the X-Men are like house some of the most popular female superheroes in their entire publishing line.
And they won't use any of them.
Nope.
No.
Okay. All right. So
All right. Next up,
yeah,
and
second round.
this is going to be my one, and it's going to be a little bit
We
of
can
a
only go to
twist.
6 total, so you only get one more, Dan. And then
Okay.
we each get one more.
Havoc. Aside,
Ooh.
because I want a Summers brother on there, but
Not
I think
Cyclops.
I don't want Cyclops, because I think if you bring Havoc in, you get so much more potential with the personality,
Mhm.
as well as especially if we've got 3 female powerhouses, because he's going to show off and he's going to mess up, but he's still an Omega level mutant because all the Summers brothers are, and so I think
Mm-hmm.
Havoc would be preferable over Scott.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Who do you add to this team?
Oh, Beast.
Beast. We're going
Beast.
to
Yeah,
go.
but blue
Okay.
furry Beast. It's got to be blue furry Beast because I have an idea, but like I'll talk about that later. But
Right. We do our full blown ideas.
yeah, full blown ideas. But really, so in this case, in this random roster that we've created, I'll just go any Beast, but Beast. As long as it's not Dark Beast, I'm fine with it.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go with Nightcrawler as my
Yay.
6th pick.
Smart.
Because I feel like we get Beast, Jean, Nightcrawler, Storm. We've got some like well-known X-Men, but they're not the top tier roster. Then we got Kitty Pryde and Havoc to kind of like. I know some people get Kitty Pryde from the Evolution show, but still, she's not as popular as the other X-Men. And then I want to throw a caveat. I got an idea. The teacher's not Xavier. What if we kick off this universe with it being Wolverine? that weird period where he was the teacher at the school.
God. What a confusing, weird movie this would be. I love it. Yeah.
He's just there, but that allows us to have Laura Kinney right away as a student.
Yeah.
Honestly, that would work because it works with my idea of Jean Grey being on the team and then later becoming a role because she'd be like, Logan, you are terrible at this. I will take over. Don't worry.
Right.
We'll keep your name on the
That works
building,
even
but
better.
I'm just going to do it.
At the end of the movie, she takes over and Wolverine goes into a Wolverine movie.
Right. that makes sense.
He
But
leaves
he's
the
there 'cause
building
you
and
need him there.
Deadpool's standing there, and that's the start of Deadpool 3.
Boom.
Like you make Wolverine the Iron Man of the X-Men side. He's just
he's going to be by accident. Like he's just going to be no matter what. So, yeah, all right. So there's our team, and they fight Dr. Doom.
And they fight Dr. Doom. Yep. Yeah, that's my idea.
Nightcrawler, though, is a really good one because let's be honest, it is a team that you have to have someone who's mobile. Like you gotta be like in a team that fits all the different things. You got your powerhouse, you got your comedic relief, and you got your transportation.
That's right.
So I think this is actually a very solid team that I think would actually do really well.
Yeah, it'd be a fun team.
Okay, so here's the plot. I got this, and I gotta take credit. You guys reminded me in the chat about this person, Franklin Richards. Okay.
Right.
So Franklin Richards has been admitted by the new Fantastic Four that already got introduced into the school of mutants,
right?
Which is where Wolverine's trying to teach him, and that's useless. And that's why Dr. Doom's involved. And
that is the Kitty Pryde and Franklin Richards are pretty much the main characters of the 4-part miniseries X-Men versus Fantastic Four.
Yep.
Yeah,
and they fight Dr. Doom. Like that is the book.
So there you go.
Basically, what Penny is talking about. Yeah. So
yeah, you're just pitching X-Men versus Fantastic Four. Yeah,
I haven't read that, so even better.
Exactly. No, I think it's great. It's great. Perfect. Yeah, Doom's like, I want that kid. He's got all the power ever. Yeah, it's great.
So there you go. There's our idea. Now
there you go.
That's an amazing movie. We've casted it. We are available to direct. Sal and I can write if need be. Dan can get his coffees. It'll go great. So anyway,
I can tell you what to write, and by tell you, I mean I'll give you a small thing, and then you can do your job and turn it into something that's actually a story.
Perfect.
All right. So now, if your option is to just pick a 5-man team, Dan.
No, don't put me first. I
feel like Sal's got this locked and loaded. He's like, I'm on enough podcasts.
I have an idea. Like, I have a pitch, but So if you want, I'll kill some time.
What's your 5-man team?
All right, so the 5-man team, I think, needs to be like almost like in media res. Like it needs to be set up where it's the team that you expect or want to see, but there's a good reason for that, and it's like it plays on the strengths of what we know the X-Men movie franchise to be. So the team I think that really nailed it, that like gets people excited, is a team that not a lot of people are familiar with, and actually most of the people we like are on this team. It's the X-Men Evolution cartoon.
I mentioned that on this episode.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. The X-Men Evolution cartoon is a good like template for that, but we could dial back a couple of the original roster. Like, I think you got to have Cyclops, Jean, and Wolverine. I think you got to have Kitty Pryde as a great gateway character that is like how you introduce everyone to the team. She's the one who's like, what? Who? This is crazy. Nah, forget Jubilee. We're good. Or make a Jubilee. I don't care, but I'd rather it be Kitty because I think it'd be more respectful to the canon. And Storm and Beast, etc. But I think the reason why I want to see like a team that is basically like a combination. Oh, and Rogue. I want to get Rogue in there. I want to see like a combination of the 90s cartoon and the X-Men Evolution cartoon is because I want to set up like the future team, right? Like where it's like Gambit and Rogue and like Wolverine, the cool players, hell, even Psylocke or something. But I want to see like something like X-Men Evolution, because you set it up now where it's like it's taking place in the present. Here's your team, and it's all the fun, cool players. And you go, man, why didn't you do the 05? Like, why didn't you do Jean, Angel, Cyclops, Iceman, and Beast? Like, what the hell? Hell, even Beast is already blue and furry. Because you make a movie a couple movies down the line that is exactly like Avengers, but it's the first X-Men movie. And it's set during the time, like right before or after the Avengers. The way that like Captain Marvel set up that she's actually the first Avenger. You know, I think that sucks,
Right.
but like, I think if you do it right, it could be fun. Where you establish like the X-Men are actually the Marvel Cinematic Universe first superhero team, but Professor X kept it secret. And so we get to see all these characters and like set up that the X-Men have been operating for a while, so that when we jump into the X-Men Cinematic Universe, like when we get into X-Men, we can have all these players now. Instead of building to them in like 5-10 years, we could be like, oh no, Wolverine movie, Colossus is here. So like Kitty Pryde movie, like Iceman has already gone through all this stuff. Cyclops is looking for his brother, found him already. Now we're looking for the third one. You know, like that. We have all this stuff already in place, so that if we want to play in the past and make it simpler, we could, the way that X-Men First Class and X-Men Days of Future Past kind of did. You know, like let's do two kind of different timelines that establish like who the X-Men were as a simpler, kind of like more approachable thing as a kind of prequel movie.
Okay.
But our current roster is the team that you kind of like would build to over a period of years. So it's not unlike what they did over at Justice League, where it's like, let's just have our team now and then spin out movies after that. But at the same time, if you do it right, you know, especially in a fertile ground like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like we're not trying to get to know this world. We get it. You know, we know what's going on. Seeing these characters show up and set them against things like, oh yeah, no, this character used to be an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. This person was part of the S.H.I.E.L.D. takedown. This person was, you know, dealing with the fallout of Ultron. You know, any number of things you can do with them. But basically two teams. The original 5 as like a prequel movie that's like a simpler, you know, here's the mansion and it's idyllic and it's pretty and, you know, no sentinels or anything. And it's all like internal. Like they fight the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. So that by the time we get to like now, the present, like Magneto's gone through like 6 or 7 battles of the X-Men. So now we can establish like Magneto's like more sympathetic, or he could be a hero, or he could at least be part of the team, you know? Something to think about.
Like
but you could also do both. You could do the Westchester stuff in the past, and then you could do like Krakoa, Genosha, you know, Utopia, whatever
island they're on right now.
Exactly.
You know, it's weird how many islands the X-Men have had to get.
They do like their islands, yeah.
I really like islands, whether it's in the ocean or in space. Asteroids is just
asteroids. That's just an
island in space.
That's right.
So, okay, my idea is how they're going to branch them into them. And I love your idea of doing like the Fab Five back in the original,
right?
Like in doing a prequel. But my idea was my movie is actually going to be about, so my idea, and I pretty much have the beginning and the ending. The beginning is Deadpool's looking for the rest of the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
So to get Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool in this movie, because so far he's going to be the only link they have to X-Men.
Right, to the
because they've been in his other movies. Like, it's been a thing. So my idea is that after Deadpool 3, he's in the MCU and he's looking for this universe's X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
He goes looking for Wolverine, finds Laura, finds that Wolverine.
Right.
Okay. He's very confused about everything going on. The team is Wolverine, Laura Kinney. We got a Colossus, so we can have the jokes of like, well, my Colossus.
Yes.
Basically using Deadpool as our bridging character to introduce a whole new plethora of characters.
Okay.
So we got Wolverine, we got Nightcrawler. I would have Nightcrawler in it because he hasn't really properly been in any of the X-Men movies up to this point. I mean, he was in the one where he did the really cool scene with the president area, but
he was in X2 and that was it. That was it.
We had his dad, Azazel.
Did have Azazel, yeah.
I would have Colossus in this, so we can have those jokes. I would have Kitty Pryde again. I just like having Kitty Pryde, especially after how awesome she is in Fall of X right now.
Right.
And I would probably do Havoc or somebody along those lines, because I would also avoid the original 5.
Mm,
Because I feel like if we're going to use Deadpool to introduce a new cast, Deadpool's going to be fine.
right.
It'd be like if you had a movie that was going to introduce a brand new team, but you were going to have Spider-Man in half the movie. People are going to go watch the movie.
Yes.
So we can use Deadpool to introduce an entirely obscure team
Right.
of characters that no one is really aware of. Like, I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if they put Toad on the team? And Toad could also be the character that then flips sides later on down the road, to go to Evil Brotherhood.
Yeah.
But the only one that I would want to keep that would be a very recognizable face would be Colossus, just to have that back and forth of like Deadpool constantly confusing where he is and what's going on.
Exactly.
And I would end the movie with him finally like accepting Laura's the new Wolverine or whatever. Like he would argue the whole time, "You're not Wolverine." Like,
right.
You're not as angry. You're not as furry.
Yeah.
And it would end with the other Wolverine inviting him to the Black Ops X-Force team finally.
Okay, cool.
And that's how we get Deadpool off the X-Men after the first movie.
Yes. Right? But keep him in there.
I don't want him
Keep
to
him
stay
in the
on the team. I want to use him as a way to introduce these obscure X-Men.
Right. And then that's the team going forward, but he's over there.
He's over there on an X-Force movie with Wolverine that is going to do way better in the box office.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'd watch the crap out of that. Are you kidding me? Yeah. The Uncanny X-Force would be really cool.
Yeah. All right,
I'd be
Dan.
down for that. Okay, so I don't have the team per se. It's more of like an idea of what would branch out of the team, because I feel like it would be really cool. We don't do the original 5. We kind of reshape the way that X-Men exist in the universe. We don't just copy what we've done before. And instead, our first team is going to be things like we'll have Magic on there. We'll have Wolverine and Cyclops. And basically, we're going to put people on there that will work together, but will have some conflicting ideologies about things. So the first movie is just the X-Men showing to the world, the mutants are here. We're here. We're here to help. We're here to do what we can. But throughout the movie, you have internal conflict amongst the team of Wolverine being like, no, there are people we have to kill. And then you have Cyclops who's like, no, the world is watching us. We can't kill because then mutants are killers. So basically at the end of the first movie, where you do have all these things, you have the 2 leaders or the 2 higher up people have a conflict. So Wolverine goes off, makes his own X-Force team. Cyclops is like, but the world still needs an X-Men team. I'm going to lead the X-Men. We've got Magic on there because she's like, guys, are you like, clearly we understand Earth is here. We've got all of this, but there's other demonic dimensions that we have to take care of. She goes off and makes her New Mutants team. And basically we kind of branch off the main team into kind of what each of what would be the new original members think the X-Men should be. They branch off, and then maybe we get the original 5 as the actual X-Men team. But we've also got X-Force on the side where Wolverine goes, okay, maybe we do need Deadpool. He's really good at killing people. And you know what? Sometimes it's going to be kind of depressing. So we need a little laughter here and there. So they bring them along, and we have like Magic go around, and she's like, okay, well, I need to go find like Wolfbane or something like that. Basically allows you to branch off into all the different ways, but not right away. You don't have to have them do that, but you can have that conflict to just show the X-Men are here. The X-Men are here to help, but they're not all in the same mindset of how far can we go to help. And I think that would be a really good way to do it, because I feel like if we copy and paste any of the numerous places we've seen X-Men and how the original team is almost always the same core group, if we do that, I feel like there's just not as much freshness, and we'll run into a situation where the mutants will once again need an island for some reason, or well, like we will run into those same kind of things. Whereas if we kind of mix it up from the get-go, you can kind of change the order in which events happen, which will in turn cause a domino effect to allow you to kind of
innovate.
Exactly. Kind of reinvent the way the X-Men and mutants are in the universe, because it is later. Like we don't have the same things that we did when the X-Men first came around. And so I think that would just be a really fun way to do it.
the three of us with totally different ideas just makes me realize Disney just needs to get to the X-Men. There's too many ideas to play with.
Yeah. As long as they don't paint themselves into a corner, like they need to be able to set something up that is a launching pad. And I think it needs to spread out. Like the reality is the X-Men is such a fertile ground to build an entire, the reality is there are people who hate Marvel that read X-Men. Like the X-Men is a great opportunity for you to bring back lapsed fans to the MCU and build out an entire brand new audience of people who will only want to watch X-Men movies and shows. So like play with the fact that you own Disney Plus, expand on the fact that X-Men is an ongoing soap opera. You could do Wolverine movies where Wolverine pops in to X-Men movies, but and bridges him to X-Men movies and when Wolverine movies. But you could also do like a Generation X show where it's just the teenagers and make them like the sidekicks from what's that movie Sky High, so it's not as expensive. You know what I mean? And you just make it not that it's like for children, but it's more like a CW teen drama. Now I'm not suggesting that it needs to be like CW, but
no,
in
we're
terms
beyond
of
that now.
right, but sell it it's a bunch of teenagers who are all horny and it's in a big house together. There's gonna be drama, there's gonna be conflict, and it's gonna be melodrama. It's what the X-Men is. But you can also then go okay, the movies are like Mr. Sinister and Apocalypse and Phoenix and Magneto. These are the big guns. But Mystique just showing up and causing massive problems for people is a show plot. That's one plot, just introducing one person is a complete psychopath and she can become anybody.
So that almost like what they were doing with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. originally, where Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., before it went in its own direction, was pretty much what happens between the movies.
Bingo.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
So the X-Men has, good.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, because I wanted to mention this before I forget, and I wanted to kind of get your opinion. This is completely random. But Sal mentioned Magneto, and I was thinking about this the other day of how in the comics, Magneto's been cycled out because I feel like they want to use him, but his origin is the Holocaust, so he's got a permanent age on him. And I feel like if we do this, I don't want to get rid of characters that are stuck in the past, kind of like that, because I feel like Magneto is such a fantastic character, not even just villain, just character in general. And I had this idea for a newer version of his origin that I kind of wanted to get your opinion on, and it kind of works because of the topic, that I feel like the best way to bring him into current day would be Magneto is a war hero that gets captured as a prisoner of war. They discover mutants as he's a prisoner of war, and his country abandons him because he's a mutant. And now we have something that it's now possible to keep in the present day. I think it kind of fits well with kind of Magneto's original origin in a more modern sense. But I feel like if we do stuff like that, we can change so many things. And the more we're talking about this, the more I really want the X-Men in the movies to be different. Because the more we talk about this, the more I go, it's all the same. It really does really come down to it of most of the X-Men stuff is the same. Of course, you can say this about all superheroes and stuff like that, but I feel like X-Men has the most potential to change up. Everything else, I feel they are like Captain America. It's the United States. You're really kind of stuck in your mold unless you turn out to be a Nazi, and we all saw how that turned out.
Right.
Whereas the X-Men, you can really change what's going on, and I think the movies would be a really fun way, especially if we're bringing Deadpool in, because he can make those obvious statements of, okay, well, this is just bizarre. Why the heck is this going? How is he this young? He used to have no hair when I last knew him. It's stuff like that. And I feel like this is a chance to do that. And I think the X-Men just have so much potential for new stuff. And the more we talk about it, the more I just want to try new things. And I think it could be fun. So.
That's fair.
But I wanted to get your opinion on that Magneto thing, because I had that idea, and I've been trying to find a time to bring it into a conversation.
Yeah.
It's been really hard.
Personally, I like the idea, but I don't think you could change Magneto's origin. I think it'd be easier just to explain away, like, he just ages slower to fix
Right.
the aging out situation. And it's only because it's like you said, the Holocaust and all of that is so pivotal to Magneto.
Right.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
The reason behind what I was thinking was because I always kind of pictured that as humanity turning on itself. And then even in times like that, they'll turn on mutants, even when they're
Yeah.
turning on themselves.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of thought the Prisoner of War would somewhat emulate that, as humans have turned on him and the people he thought would try and rescue him have abandoned him just because he's a mutant.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it would kind of, because yes, no, obviously there's nothing that you can be like, oh yes, this is the same equivalent as the Holocaust, but it is such a good character that I don't want to lose because of the fact that it is, well, he's just very old now. And
Right. No, I like the idea. I mean, like, I see what I see where you're going with it, and I dig the concept in theory, and I think that the MCU probably will do something like that rather than just being like, oh no, he was in Auschwitz. But but I think that's only because I really don't have a lot of faith in the MCU right now. But I
that's fair.
that's a way to go, and it's a respectable way to go. I also like the idea of like making Magneto kind of like the like the mutants Captain America. Like, he's a guy who's like, what is this? You know, like either he was, maybe he was frozen, or maybe he was like fell through a time tunnel. Like, I don't care what it is, but like, he's a person who's like, this world is strange and different, and I should rule it.
Right.
Because of who I am. But I also like, I like the idea of modernizing him. And I think like that would be a cool idea, especially in the Ultimate Universe. That's something that I'd like to see.
All right. Yeah. Well, let us know in the comments down below what you think about Dan's idea.
Yeah.
Because I know the chat's already given us some. You're getting people saying no and yes, so you're getting a
Hey,
both
you
of
know
it.
what? I'm sparking a conversation, and that's what we need.
Well, let us know what you guys think about each of our ideas in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when the next video comes out. Because if you like this, then we will decide what the Brotherhood of Mutants should be next.
Oh,
Interesting.
We'll see you guys later.